Hey y'all, I'm Mandy, and this is Mandy in the Making. Welcome back to another What's for Dinner, where I'm going to share 3 easy and delicious meals with you. For our first meal this week, we're going to be making Baja fish tacos. We've got a tangy citrus slaw to go on top of it, and we're also making some chipotle mayo. It's going to be good. To get started, we're going to prepare the tangy citrus slaw. You can prepare this up to 24 hours in advance. This is probably just about 30 to 40 minutes before we eat. I've got 2 cups of prepared coleslaw, and I'm just gonna chop up some cilantro. I said it was prepared coleslaw. I just mean it was already cut. It's not prepared. I take that back. I only need about 2 tablespoons of lime juice, so I've got really 2 small limes here. Figure that will be plenty. May only need about 1.5. Next, I'm just adding about 2 tablespoons of pineapple juice and just a little bit of salt. And that's it. We're just gonna mix this up and stick it in the fridge. Next, we're gonna prepare the chipotle mayo. I've got about 1/2 cup of mayo that I need. I need about 1 teaspoon of honey, and lastly, about 1 teaspoon of adobo sauce. I could not find adobo sauce at my grocery store, so I just bought a can of chipotle peppers in adobo sauce and got it from there. A small can of the chipotle peppers in adobo sauce fits perfectly in one of these little snack size bags. And I just put this in the freezer, and anytime we have a dish that we want to add a smoky, kind of tangy flavor to, we just pull one of these out. We just run it under hot water, pull one out, chop it up, and add it in to like a chili or something that you're wanting that flavor, and it's perfect, and it lasts a long time. I'm gonna taste it just to see if it needs anything else. Oh, that's good. That's perfect. I've got this medium skillet. We're going to heat up some vegetable oil. You only need about 1 inch deep of oil. I'm gonna heat this to about medium high, and we're just gonna keep an eye on it. We want the oil to get to about 325 degrees before we dip any of our fish in there. Okay, so now we're gonna prep our batter. I need 1 cup of all-purpose flour. We need 1/2 cup of panko breadcrumbs. I've got 1 teaspoon each of salt, cumin, and chili powder. And 1 teaspoon each of onion powder and garlic powder. And this is a beer batter. We've got 1 12-ounce beer. This is a fat tire. The recipe calls for about 1.5 to 2 pounds of cod. This is barely under 1 pound, but we knew that this would be enough to feed our family of 3. I'm just going to cut them in half and cut them in half again. We're pretty much making kind of like fish strips. It's really important that you pat these dry. We're patting them dry just to make sure that the batter will stick to it and not just slide right off. Okay, so he is just dipping it in there, and he's gonna put it directly into our hot oil. We're just gonna work in batches. It should just take just a few minutes for each batch, and then we'll be done. After just a minute or so, you wanna kind of rotate them and turn them over, which is what he's doing now.
right.
This looks and smells really good.
Yeah. Okay, here we go.
There's so many flavors going on in
Yeah,
that.
the beer batter, the crunch, and then the adobo sauce dressing that you put on there. Amazing.
It's got that citrus flavor in the slaw, and then that smokiness, and then that beer batter. It's like the perfect combination. Tonight we are making a very simple meal, but I'm really looking forward to it. It is a creamy Caesar chicken pasta. We really don't have a lot of chopping to do, but I want to get all of that done before we get started. This is just a little bit of parsley that we will use at the very end. So I get to use this awesome cheese grater again. I'm using the smaller or the finer grater today. Let me lock it in place. That suctions it to my workspace and it's not gonna move. And I just need about a half a cup of Parmesan cheese. That's amazing. Look at that. So we're gonna cook our chicken breasts in a skillet. This one particular chicken breast is a little bit thicker than the other two, so I'm going to flatten it out just a little bit. Okay, now I just need to season these with salt and pepper. And I will season the other side of these once they go into the pan. I've got my large skillet heated to medium high. I'm gonna add just a little bit of olive oil. And I'm just going to add my chicken in. We're gonna cook these about 8 minutes on each side. You just want to cook it all the way through. So now that it's cooked through, we're just taking it off and we're gonna let it rest for about 10 minutes before we slice it up. I'm gonna wipe out this skillet and we're gonna cook our bacon in this same skillet. Okay, now that our skillet is cleaned out, I've got 6 slices of bacon that I have already chopped up. We're gonna go ahead and cook this all the way through. While my bacon is cooking, I'm gonna go ahead and start my pasta water and bring it up to a boil. Now that our bacon is done, I am going to remove it and put it on this plate that I've lined with a paper towel. We are gonna reserve a good bit of the bacon grease to saute our garlic in just a second. In this same pot, I'm gonna take our garlic cloves, which I have minced, and we are just gonna cook these in here until they're fragrant for just about a minute. So now I'm just gonna deglaze our pan with about a half a cup of chicken broth. And now we're gonna add in our Caesar dressing. You need 1 pint or 16 ounces of Caesar dressing. Just gonna combine all of this together and let it warm through. We've got this combined. I'm gonna add in our Parmesan cheese and let it start to melt. And we also need the juice of 1 lemon. This is only half of a lemon, but it was a very big lemon. So I'm gonna add that in now. And we're just gonna let this hang out and do its thing. And I'm gonna go ahead and drain our pasta water. I am gonna reserve a cup of our pasta water. Now I'm just gonna slice up our chicken. Now I'm gonna add all of our pasta into this sauce. We reserved a cup of the pasta water just in case the sauce gets a little too thick. we are ready to add the chicken and the bacon and the parsley. I'm starving and this smells so good. Oh, I don't know if you caught that, but that was 2 thumbs up as soon as he stuck it in his mouth.
Wow.
That good?
Oh yeah.
All right. That's amazing.
That is
That
so
Caesar-
simple, but
yeah.
oh my word.
That Caesar dressing. I mean, just all of the flavors in there. I mean, the bacon hits that Caesar dressing. There's a little pop of that lemon. I don't think it would matter what kind of meat you use. Chicken, maybe chicken sausage.
Chicken sausage would be good. Just so long as you put the bacon on.
Oh yeah.
That matters.
Or you can just put more bacon on it.
Or more bacon, just all bacon. It's rich, but it's not too rich. Like, I was a little worried putting that entire thing of Caesar dressing in there. I thought, that's gonna be really rich. But I think, you know, that chicken broth thinned it out a little bit.
Yep.
And like you said, that lemon just kind of breaks it up too. So it's not so rich. You can barely tell that there's lemon in there, but it does. It breaks it up. It gives it a brighter flavor, I guess. It's our last meal of the week, which means it is Subby Supper night. Tonight's Subby Supper comes from Donna. Donna has lived in Kentucky all of her life, and this is a great twist on hot brown sandwiches. I think that's a thing, right? It's a Kentucky thing, right? This is a hot brown casserole. That's what we're having tonight. Donna is married to Mark, and they've been married for a little over 30 years. They have one daughter who is about to turn 29, and she is engaged to be married. Donna also has a very fat basset hound, those are her words, not mine, named Gretchen. She has 2 indoor cats, and she feeds 8 or 9 feral cats that live in the area. Donna learned to cook from her grandmother. She's always loved to cook, and she said her mama hated to cook. And her mom would take something out of the freezer to thaw out for dinner, and Donna would call her grandmother and say, hey, this is what mom has thawing out, how do I cook it? And her grandmother would walk her through it. I love that. I think that's so cool. Donna loves to enter recipe contests. She's been on TV twice for the Kentucky Derby Burger Challenge. Only the final 4 people, I think, in that challenge get featured on TV, and she was on there twice. She has also had a recipe printed in the Quick and Simple magazine. It's like the affiliate magazine from Taste of Home. So she really, really loves to cook. She said that she hopes one day to make a cookbook. So the first thing we're going to do is cook up this bacon. It calls for a ½ pound of bacon. We had about 3/4 of a pound of bacon, but Cole, what did you say?
The more the merrier.
The more the merrier when it comes to bacon. So I've already cut it up. We're gonna go cook it on the stove. While our bacon starts to cook, I'm going to cut up this loaf of bread. The recipe calls for French bread. I could not find a loaf of French bread at my grocery store, so this is an Italian bread. It's a little bit smaller. I'm just going to cube this up. The next thing we're gonna do is cube up these turkey tenderloins. I'm going to go back in time and show you a little bit more about these. Okay, we're going back in time. I wanted to go ahead and show you what I'm doing as far as the turkey goes. You could always use leftover turkey or ham or even deli ham or turkey, but we are going to be using these turkey breast tenderloins today. I got these from Aldi, and we tried them for the first time a couple of weeks ago. Both times I've gotten the rotisserie flavor. I think they have one other flavor. The last time we used this, we grilled it and we loved it. I did not show that on camera, but I wanted to let y'all know. It was so good. Today, I'm just putting it on this broiling pan lined with foil, and it is going into the oven at 325 for 50 to 60 minutes, just until the internal temperature reaches about 165 degrees. So I've got my casserole dish here. It has been sprayed with Pam. I'm just adding all of my bread to the bottom. And now I'm just adding all of my cubed turkey on top. You can use about 3 to 4 cups of cubed turkey, or you could do half and half turkey and ham. I just did not have ham on hand, so we're just doing turkey today. So what are we doing?
I'm gonna do one of the most satisfying things on earth right now.
What's that?
Grating up this Parmesan cheese.
He loves this thing. Okay, go ahead. So we need 8 ounces of grated Parmesan cheese, or shredded Parmesan cheese.
That's amazing, man. I just love that.
I've got this saucepan that I'm heating up to medium heat. I've got 3 tablespoons of butter that I'm gonna melt. Now that our butter is melted, I'm gonna add in 3 tablespoons of flour, and we're gonna cook this while I stir it for a couple of minutes. So now we're gonna add in 3 cups of milk, and we're just gonna cook this until it heats through and it starts to thicken. As we wait on this to thicken, I'm gonna add in about a half a teaspoon of black pepper and a teaspoon of salt. So this has thickened. We're gonna add in our Parmesan cheese. And we're just gonna let it melt. Now that our cheese has melted, we're gonna pour this all over our casserole. Now this is going in the oven at 375 for 30 to 35 minutes. The last couple of minutes, I'll turn it over to broil just to make sure that the top gets nice and brown. We are excited to give this a try.
This is good.
My cameraman tonight, Cole, and I were just like drooling at this the whole time.
It looks good. The bread is just a sponge of flavor.
Yes, the bread just soaked up that cheese sauce perfectly.
Yep.
This is amazing.
It is amazing.
This kind of bread is phenomenal.
Oh man. This is like a hot sandwich. I mean, it really is.
Really good.
Did you sneak in here?
Yep.
She knows I don't like it when she comes in here, but he caters to her. So she comes in here, she refuses to look at me. She just stares up at Steven the entire time. Donna, this is definitely a hit, and it's a keeper for sure. Thank you so much for sending it over. Y'all have got to try this. It's really good. I hope you enjoyed this week's What's for Dinner. Don't forget to give it a thumbs up if you did. And if you haven't already, I would love for you to join my YouTube family. I do videos like this all of the time. I do all kinds of content related around food. So hit that subscribe button before you leave, and I'll see you next time. Bye. For dinner, where I'm going to share. I'm going to share stuff. It's going to be good stuff too. Okay.
What you doing? You getting old ready?
I'm getting old ready.
Old.
Old.
Okay.
See? Old. Old.
Yeah. That's right.
Smells like beer. I don't like the smell of beer. It's just stinky. Grace, get out. Oh, that cat. She said, I'm not in the kitchen. I'm right outside the kitchen.